morning, everybody. Toast to you and all you do. I hope you're having a fantastic morning. I hope you're watching the introspective journey and joining us for that. It's one of these times of year where I really just enjoy diving deeper and looking deeper into things. So I really hope you're enjoying the introspective journey. But today we're going to talk, in this video, we're going to talk about the full moon coming up and the eclipse. So the full moon is on the 17th or 18th, depending on where you are and what time zone you are. It's going to happen pretty late tomorrow night or early in the morning. And same with the eclipse. So like here in Colorado, the eclipse will be fully visible at 2 a.m. And that's also like the peak of the full moon. This will be a beautiful umbra eclipse. It'll be a complete eclipse. So for people in North America and in so from like North America east almost to China. So parts of China will be able to see it, and all of the United States, and I think parts of Great Britain will be able to see some of it, but not the complete thing. It just kind of depends on where you are. So if you're going to be up late tomorrow night or up early on Friday morning, you should get out and see it. It'll be beautiful. The moon's going to turn that amazing red color, and it's going to be a magical full moon. So let's talk a little bit about the astrology that's going on, because I imagine there are a lot of people right now who feel like things are kind of shocking. And just recently on the 14th, we had Mercury opposing Uranus, which is bringing shocking news to light. This is one of those things where Uranus really rocks your world, and Mercury's going to make sure that you see and hear it. So you probably had something shake up your life. You can also see, because on the 16th, so it was yesterday, we had the moon conjunct with the Eris-Pluto square, which also can be eruptive. That Eris-Pluto square really like digs down deep and pulls out all of this information about justice and equality. And Eris is one of those dwarf planets that we don't talk about a lot, but she has great power out there, and that she is the goddess of chaos, and she is who brought to the table the golden apple, highlighting what was wrong. And sometimes just dropping that bomb is what brings about grand change. So we're really seeing a lot of that. Eris has been pretty active in our zodiac chart over the last 2 years, actually. So you see, as you see in our world, we have a lot of social injustices coming up. We have a lot of major changes, and not just with the coronavirus, but with other things. So you're really seeing her acting and putting herself forward to say, hey, there are some problems out there. And so with this recent square, and then with Mercury and Uranus opposing each other, you really probably felt some of this chaos coming to the surface. I know in my world I did. If you watched my other video, you saw the update, but my husband just quit his job. We had a bunch of upheavals, a bunch of things, like just big explosion and change. So now we're hoping to come out the other side of that with some benefit and some good things. So send some love this way so my husband can get this new job he really wants. Anyways, we also have Mars and Saturn square. So this is bringing about a big act and do, and like you need to do something. With Mars says go do something, and that square to Saturn says, hey, watch out for what you should do. So it's going to remind you, what should you be doing, and is that what you're acting on? So again, we have we have another square that's just really bringing about this, hey, look at it. We have these problems. We need to fix these problems. We're going to bubble them all to the surface, and now you got to deal with them. And so that probably has been stressful for some people, especially if you are a Scorpio or or a Taurus, because right now the sun is in Scorpio and the sun is in Taurus. And so we have this really interesting dichotomy going on between Scorpio and Taurus. And so Scorpio is the deep, eternal, internal, passion, drive, sensuality, this grand energy that comes from deep within, and tapping into that deep, dark energy. Now, Taurus, on the other hand, is also a deep energy, but it's not an internal energy, it's an external energy. So Taurus is an energy of pleasure and physical enjoyment and eating. Eating is a big thing that we talk about with Taurus. It's just that kind of sustaining, life-giving, but external energy. So with the sun and the moon in Scorpio and Taurus respectively, we have this amazing dichotomy going on that's bringing about a passion from inside and our desires from outside and kind of putting them together. And so it can be a very potent energy, very, very potent, especially if you're doing magic. Although many would say don't do magic on the eclipse. So let's talk a little bit about the eclipse and the energy of the eclipse. In antiquity, most of the time the eclipse is seen as a bad thing. Sorry, it's really cold outside. I need to see it snowed. It's like 24 degrees out here. So when we talk about the eclipse, for many of our ancient cultures, this was seen as a really bad thing. They were worried that the moon wouldn't come back. There's a Aborigine myth about the equinox that is it? Oh no, it's not Aborigine. It's Inca. So there's an Inca myth about the moon goddess, and that when there is an eclipse, the animals are trying to eat her. And so all of the people go out and hoot and holler and try to scare away the animals that are eating the goddess. And so you see this in a lot of different cultures, where the eclipse was seen as like a scary thing. And so a lot of that energy does transcend onto now, because you have to think about, for the last 20,000 years, our ancestors have seen this as a like, oh my God thing. Now, not all of them. There are some cultures who, instead of seeing it as a bad omen, they saw it as the moon going through all of her cycles in one night. So there's myths about how in this one night, she is transformed through everything and then comes out the other side renewed. And so, especially with this dark time and where we are, I really feel like that's the energy that is calling to us. And it's this transformational energy. So if there is something that you really want to transform and you really want to make that change, you can make that change under the equinox. And you start from where you are at the beginning of the equinox, and you meditate or do some magic or ritual or whatever you're called to during the equinox to let go of that old thing and be reborn into this new thing. You can almost think of it like a baptism or a rebirthing ceremony. So if there's something really big that you're working on, this is a great time to do that. You tap into the energy of Scorpio to dive deep and really follow your intuition. And you call on that energy of Taurus and the moon to really help solidify and ground you in your physical realm, to bring those two things together. It's like bringing the physical and the spiritual together to meld into this one yin-yang kind of thing. And like I said, it's a super potent energy. So if there's something that you want to change, if there's something you need to let go of, like say you want to quit smoking, this is a great time to do that. Or say it's something really big, like you're going to come out of the closet. And this is also a great time to do that, to find the strength that you need to be who you are and to be true to who you are. Scorpio is going to remind you, deep down inside, this is who you are. And Taurus is going to help you root that into your physical world. So if there is a disconnect between your ideal self and your physical self, then this is really going to be highlighted, and now is going to be the time to really start making that shift, and to like consciously and subconsciously and magically and all of those things to focus your shift your focus to shift your focus from being who you think you should be to being who you are, or being who you pretend to be, to really being who you are, and really letting that deep, passionate, beautiful energy flow forth. Again, we have been taught in our society that this dark, passionate energy is bad, and that couldn't be farther from the truth. Love comes out of this deep, dark, passionate energy. And all of your emotions do, but love comes from there too. So we can't say that it's a bad thing. You can't have love, you can't have hate without love, you can't have hurt without, these things are the opposite side of the coin. So we can't have these pleasures without the pain. But at the same time, we can't let, we just can't. You cannot get stuck in, see, and now I'm stuck. It just got really, really cold. So if you're feeling that stuck energy, I guess is more where I was going with that. If you're really feeling that stuck energy, now is the time to transform and shed. Think about it like a butterfly. This is your time to be that butterfly. And this full moon and this eclipse is your cocoon to come out the other side, better and for who you want to be. So let's see, what else do we have on this moon? Okay, so in the same vein, this is the Beaver Moon. So we are lined back up with the names of the moons and the months again, so that will be easy for the rest of the year. But so we do have the Beaver Moon, and the Beaver teaches us that with hard work and dedication, we will succeed. They teach us that if we build the house, it will do what it needs to do, and it will create this collection of energy. Think about the dam and whatnot. And so this Beaver Moon, we call it the Beaver Moon because I'm not going to try to pronounce the name of the native tribe. It's a northeastern native tribe. It starts with an A. It's a hard word to say. I'm not going to butcher it. But they called this the Beaver Moon because you would hear the beavers out smacking their tail on the water and getting their houses ready and doing their thing. And if you've never heard a beaver smack their tail on the water, it's a unique sound. We were fishing a couple years ago on a camping trip, and there were beavers building a dam next to us. And the first time that they surfaced and then smacked their tails on the water, it was like I can't describe it. It was just one of those things. But that is the sound that you would hear at this time of year as you went out, because that the beavers are making their homes and getting ready for their hibernation and their time inside. But they remind us that it takes hard work, it takes dedication, it takes time in order to fulfill the things that we want. So under this Beaver Moon, we're reminded that now we put in the hard work so that later we can reap the rewards. They are connected to your spirituality, and that they teach us to go deeper and to build a home that fits our spiritual needs. Each beaver dam is unique, and the bigger your dam, the more you will collect. And I know we think about, if you think about the nature of the beaver and you think about the things that they do, and there are beaver dams that collect water for entire meadows and provide water and subsistence and, a habitat for many, many other animals. And when the beavers are removed and their dams are removed and the water's no longer collected there, the other animals can't stay there and the life doesn't live there. And so when we really meditate on that and think about that thought, again, we come back to this. If you build the collection of energy, it will multiply that energy. And so that comes with your spirituality, your work, your life, your love, everything. So what you're building is going to multiply. And so with this Beaver Moon, and especially being under the eclipse, we have the opportunity to build something really strong and beautiful and complete and full circle with the full moon eclipse. And then that grow and be able to multiply and become this grand, amazing thing that you can share with your community and you can share with your family and the people around you. So as we enter into this full moon, really think about what you're building and what you're creating and what energy you want that to be releasing and accumulating. And so, so then finally we have the Moon and Jupiter square, which again, so this is another one of those grand squares. We've got Saturn square with Mars, we've got Pluto square with Aries, and we've got Jupiter square with the Sun. So, or not the Sun, the Moon. So this is going to bring out tension between the things that you want to do and the things that you need to do. And so as you're building this dam and you're building your little home and your energy and you're putting focus on that, make sure you're finding balance between wants and needs. Have to and I want to. And you have to find a balance between those two things. And so this square with Jupiter is going to be a big push to find that balance and to really focus on that. And not get too caught up on one side or the other. And so, so just be mindful of overindulgence in one area or the other and look for that balance. Let's see. Okay, so the overall, I was just making sure I went over all of the notes. There's always a lot to go over. So the big takeaway from this is that you need to take time to enjoy yourself. And you need to build your dam, your base, out of who you truly want to be and the energy you truly want to collect. And then enjoy the world around you. And when you have this good, peaceful home and this good base, it makes it way easier to enjoy that world around you. So this moon will be a great time to reflect on what it is that I have and what I'm building. And is that what I want to be building? And is it bringing about the energy that I want it to collect? So, I think that's everything. So this Beaver Moon is going to be amazing. It's going to be a beautiful eclipse. It'll be the 17th really late or the 18th really early. No, the 18th really late or the 19th really early. Sorry, these days are really getting me this month. It'll be a beautiful eclipse, so if you're in North America, you will be able to see it, and I really hope that you get out and enjoy this. Do a little bit of meditating, and really think about what you're building, and what it's multiplying, and is that what you want? So, without further ado, I'm going to go get warmed up and get my kids ready for school. I hope you guys have a fantastic full moon, and I will talk to you all soon. My coffee's cold. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you guys later.